love it when there's like a spot on my screen and I think there's something on my face. Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be part 4 of my makeup inventory. In this video, we will be covering everything eyeshadow palettes, starting with 6-pan palettes, working our way up to 100-pan palettes, because for some reason I have one of those. We will also be covering the palettes that have combinations of face products and eyeshadows, eyeliners, and mascaras. So that's what this video is all about. There's a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, I've been reading in the comments that a couple people have caught on in yesterday's video that I didn't talk about finishing a duo, and why didn't that impact my inventory? And the reason is that when I depotted that duo into my Pure Go Nude palette, the duo I'm talking about is my Lancome duo. That was the baby palette. Talking is hard. The duo that I'm talking about is my Lancome duo. That was my baby pan palette for the past 2 years, and I just finished it this past December. So you would think that my duo count would go down by 1 because I finished a duo, but I took that out of my duo inventory when I depotted it into my Pure Go Nude palette, and that was like 2 years ago. So that, I hope that answers that question, because I saw that question pop up a couple times and I thought it was a really good point, because you would think I would be talking all about that because holy cow, my category went down by 1 duo, but I had already taken it out of my duo inventory a couple years ago. So I didn't even think to mention it in my inventory video yesterday. How could I not talk about it? I don't know, but I'm really glad you guys brought that up because it was a really good question. The other thing is that as I was setting up to film for today, I was missing 2 6-pan palettes, and when I went back, I realized that I snuck them into my 5-pan palette inventory. So even though I kept saying I had 15 5-pan palettes, you were actually looking at 17 because there were 2 6-pan palettes in there. So I will retake the pictures so that it's accurate when I post them on my Instagram account for inventory. But I will correct it at the beginning of this video when I'm showing you my 6-pan palettes, and I'll mention it then. But yeah. Mistakes like these do tend to happen as we get closer to the end of the inventory, because I just want it to be over. Like, the amount of hours spent lugging things back and forth and filming these little clips really adds up, and I'm getting careless and making mistakes. So I'm so sorry for that mistake. I'll try to do better. We got 2 more days, and then the inventory is over. So this is part 4. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye. Okay, here are my 6-pan palettes. No major changes here. We were at 22 last year and we are still at 22. I have not used any up, and no new ones have come in. I'm currently working on this one in Pan in Every palette. I like it a lot. I just don't reach for it often enough. I mentioned this in the intro, but these are the 2 palettes I accidentally slipped into my 5-pan inventory, and I caught it last night after posting the video, but before starting today's video. But these are definitely 6-pan palettes, so whoopsie doopsie. There are some big contenders for Pan in Every palette in this group here. I would love to put the Jouer Skinny Dip in Pan in Every palette. I would love to put this one in Pan in Every palette. So, and actually I'd love to put all 3 of these in Pan in Every palette. So I have to do some major panning so I could roll them into the project. But yes, we're still at 22 for 6-pan palettes. Okay, here are my 7-pan palettes. 7 is definitely not the most popular amount of pans to put in a palette, but I still have 3. These are the same 3 I've had for a while now. I somehow managed to dodge the other Too Faced palette. I really wanted the other one of these, the pineapple one, so bad for so many years, but I think it's discontinued, so I can breathe a sigh of relief. I held off on that one long enough to completely miss it. This Lorac one is just a lot of light shimmery shades. Well, mid-tone browns and light shimmery shades. This is the Provocateur? Yes. Provocateur palette from Marc Jacobs. That's what it looks like. And then of course this is the Razzle Dazzle Berry palette. Hazel has gotten more use out of this than me, but I have used it maybe once or twice. None of these are currently in a project, nor do I have plans for any of them to be in a project this year, but we'll see where the year takes us. Okay, so here are all of the 8-pan palettes. What you will notice down here, may I bring your attention to this little guy down here? This is my Pan That palette for 2021. This is the Viseart Petite Pro 2. I am really excited to be working on this year, and so far, 10 days into the year, I'm enjoying it. It looks more used than it did 10 days ago. I've set the goal, I forgot to mention this in the video, but I set the goal to use this every single day for the month of January, even if it's just one shade. So I'm telling you now, that's my goal for this palette. I have used each shade at least once, but I want to use one of these shades in my look every single day during the month, and then I'll make a plan for February at my first update. I don't think I've worked on any of these other eyeshadow palettes in the past year. There's nothing really new going on, same old, same old. So we were at 18 and we're still at 18. Okay, here are all of my 9-pan palettes. They almost didn't fit on my little baby blanket anymore because, oh, you okay? Because this category went up by 1. This new guy came in, so I was at 27 last year and now I'm at 28. This was a palette from Ofra that was sent to me from for review purposes from Octoly. So, that's too bad. I'm a little disappointed that this category went up, even though I knowingly requested to review that product. It is really funny when my phone tries to take a picture with all these faces. It really throws my camera for a loop. Look what I did finally find. My Coral Obsessions finally turned up are you okay? Yeah. Just a couple of days ago. It was under a cabinet in my office on the ground. Currently, dude, are you okay?
Yeah. Just having a little trouble.
You poor thing. Currently, I am not working on any of these palettes here. I would love to put one of these Juvia's Place palettes into Pan in Every Palette or something. But yes, as of right now, I'm not working on any of these, but I'm still glad to have found my Coral Obsessions palette again. And right now we are at 28. Okay, here are all of my 10-pan palettes. Last year I had 17 10-pan palettes, and this year I am down to 16. I managed to sell a palette in the past year. Can we take a minute to appreciate that? Because that was huge. I had 2 of these. One of them I bought off of Haute Look, and one of them a friend had and decluttered to me. And I was able to sell the duplicate palette, the nicer version. I kept the one that was a little bit more loved and used and gave her the nicer one. So this category actually went down by 1. It would feel a little bit more satisfying to have actually used up an eyeshadow palette, but at the rate I'm going, I can't wait around for that to happen. So I'm really excited to be down by 1 in this category. Currently, out of all of these palettes, the only one that I'm working on is this one right here. This is the Dose of Colors Ice Cream palette, and it is in my Roulette Pan collab project, which ends in just a few days. So I've really been enjoying this palette. It is a good one. It's not available anymore, but if you have it, pull it out and enjoy it. But I'm not working on any of these other palettes right now. Here are my 11-pan palettes. Like 7-pan palettes, 11 is not a popular number of pans to put in a palette, but like 7, I have 3 of them. None of these are currently in a project. None of these have been planned for a project in 2021. I would love to put this Tarte palette in Okay, I should just stop saying that because the truth is I would love to put every palette I own in pan in every palette, and that's my intention. But this one, when I look at it, I think, man, that would be a good one for pan in every palette. This is a Mally palette. Okay, so this is an 11 pan palette, plus it comes with an eyeshadow base. So I would like to use this sooner rather than later because I'm worried that eyeshadow base is going to dry up. I have a couple of palettes that have eyeshadow bases included in them. But for now, none of these are in projects or will be anytime soon, unless something changes. Okay, here are 6 of my 12 pan palettes. My 12 pan palettes take a total of 3 posts on Instagram. I've always posted my naked palettes in one post together, and they're always a big hit. Once again, in 2020, my inventory post of my naked palettes made it to my top 9 Instagram posts of the year, top 9 most popular Instagram posts for the year. And as you can probably tell, I do not have the Naked Honey palette, and I do not have the Naked Ultraviolet palette. And there's a part of me that desperately wants to get those 2 palettes, if for no other reason than for this picture every year, because it's the collector in me. That's what it is. I like to collect and I want them all. And I think I actually would like both of those palettes, but in my head, I don't need them and I have dupes. But yeah, it's kind of hard. There's a part of me that wants to get those 2 palettes for this moment right here. But I have 6 12 pan naked palettes. No new ones came in, none left. I'm currently working on the original one in the panner's pan, but none of these other naked palettes are in a project right now. Okay, here is another clip of my 12 pan palettes. There are 22 here. The same 22 I had last year. There's been no change in this category. None have come in, none have left. I'm currently working on these 2 right here. This is my Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette, and this is my ColourPop Yes Please palette. I'm just trying to hit pan on a shade in both of those palettes for 2 different projects. I think that's upside down. Okay, here we have the last of my 12 pan palettes. I had 17 last year and I am down to 16 this year. That's because I sold one. I did not pan a 12 pan palette. It was one of these Ulta brand palettes and it was called Rose Gold. Somebody reached out to me and offered to take it off my hands, and I gladly accepted. I know I'm not going to miss it, and I'm really glad to have this category down by 1. I am not currently working on any of these palettes. Overall, collectively, I had 45 12 pan palettes last year, and now I have 44. Still got a long way to go, but I'm down by 1. What you see here are my 13 and 14 pan palettes. I had 6 last year, I have 6 this year. There's been no change. Currently, this ABH Subculture palette is in pan in every palette. I haven't been reaching for it a ton these past few weeks as I'm getting used to working with my new Pan That palette. I suppose this one could have been placed in a different category that focuses on palettes that have both eye and face products. But honestly, I just look at it as an eyeshadow palette. So we're still at 6 for this category. Okay, here are my 15 pan palettes, right? Yeah, these are all of my 15 pan palettes. I had 8 last year and I still have 8. I'm not currently working on any of these. None of these are projected to be in a project for 2021. I did do a get ready with me using this palette finally during the month of December. But other than that, I really haven't used any of these in the past year at all. Okay, here are a combination of 16 and 18 pan palettes. Some of my Too Faced collection has 16 pans and some have 18 pans. So I can't split them up, I combine them. I had 13 in this collection last year. I'm still at 13. Have I used any of these? I did a Get Ready With Me using the original chocolate bar in the past year. But other than that, none of these are currently in a project. And right now, I don't have any of these planning to go in a project for 2021. Everything in this category has between 18 and 25 pans. I love a lot of these palettes very much, but as of last year, a lot of them were basically untouched. No, they were untouched. And over the past year, I didn't do a lot of project panning, but I did get to finally use and enjoy some of these palettes. Some still have not been used, but I got a chance to use the Solar Flare, the Desert Oasis, Blood Sugar, and New Nudes from Huda. I think I'd used these two before in the year before. I still have not used even once this Urban Decay Born to Run palette, this Urban Decay Heavy Metals palette, and the Lime Crime Venus XL. So it would be great if I could at least get a chance to use them once in the next year, but I don't have plans for any of these palettes to be in a project. When I did a Get Ready With Me using this palette, I completely fell in love with it. I really, really enjoyed it. This is a Paula kind of palette right here. Hello. These are my colors. I just love them. Okay, this category here is 28 pan to 32 pan palettes. I had 9 last year. I have 9 again. There's been no change other than I finally have a pan in my Natasha Denona palette. Other than that, I haven't really worked on any of these in the past year. Still at 9. Okay, this is the last of my eyeshadow palettes. Next will be multi-palettes. These are the same 6 palettes I had last year. These palettes all have 35 pans, and this e.l.f. palette has 100 pans. It's ridiculous. Nobody needs a 100 pan palette, but I have one. I think I got it for free. Out of these palettes, the only one I'm currently working on is the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. I've been really enjoying it. It is in the Panner's Pan project. We'll see what I can get to this year. Okay, here is part 1 of 2 of my multi-palettes. I call them multi-palettes, but basically these are palettes that have a combination of eyeshadows and something that goes on your face. Whether it's a blush or a highlighter or a bronzer or a setting powder, something that goes on your face. So these are my smaller multi-palettes. I will show you my larger multi-palettes next. I had 25 last year and I am down to 24 this year. I was able to sell one. It was one of these. I had 2 of these old Clinique gifts with purchases and somebody bought one of them. So I was able to get this category down by 1 for this year. I'm really happy about that. And as you guys know, I am working to move my Pure Go Nude palette out in 2021. There's only 1 pan of product left. Oops. I use this in my eyebrows every single day as a brow powder, and I'm hoping I could finish that off this year and move this one out as well. Other than this one, I'm not currently working on any of these, but you know, we'll see what happens this year. Okay, here are my larger multi-palettes. Again, these are palettes that have eyeshadows and a face product or lip product of some type. I had 9 last year. I have 9 this year. Nothing has changed. Nothing new came in. Nothing went out. I'm not working on any of these currently. I have talked about these 2 over and over throughout the years because they both have a row of lip products in them. And I'm becoming more and more aware of their age, and they're beautiful. There they are right there. So I would love to find a project to put these in for next year. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yes, overall we are still at 9 for my large multi-palettes. Okay, here is my category of colorful eyeliners. Unfortunately, this category did not go down. The good news is it also didn't go up, but it did not go down. I was at 38 last year and I'm still at 38. I have been working on this one for all of last year. It's been in Beauty A to Z and it's not retractable, so I don't know how much I've used up or how much is left. And then I've been working on this one for the last, I don't know, 4 months of 2020. And it's a much more bright, like aqua turquoise blue shade. And it's gonna take me forever. But I am working on these two currently. If I can finish one or both of those, I'll probably pull for one of these. But until I do, I'm probably not gonna touch any of these. I just wanna focus on these two for now. I do keep this one in my bathroom all the time. This is liquid gold from ABH and it makes an amazing inner corner highlight. So this just lives in my bathroom and I use it whenever I want a super bright inner corner highlight. But I'm not working on any of these other items. I would love to put a purple in a project. I would love to put a green in a project, but I really need to zero in on one eyeliner or 2 eyeliners at a time if I want to make good progress. So these are the 2 I'm working on for now from this category. Okay, here are all of my brown eyeliners. I'm happy to report that I am finally out of the 30s for this category. We are down to 29. I finished 1 brown eyeliner in 2020. I'm not currently working on any of these. I love brown eyeliner. I like it maybe more than any other colored eyeliner, including black. It's just so flattering. So I cannot wait to get back to working on a brown eyeliner again, but for now I'm trying to focus on the eyeliners I was working on last year and did not finish. So I'm not working on any of these right now, but I'm happy to be down 1 for this category. I don't know if you could tell, but it's just about time to wash my little blanket. It is getting dirty. We are on my black eyeliners now. Unfortunately, this is another category that did not go down this year. I had 47 then and I had 47 now. I've been working on this guy for the past year, off and on, more consistently now than ever before. I'm basically using this eyeliner every day at this point, so I wanted to show you what I have left because I am making good progress, but I still have another month or 2, maybe 3 left. I don't know if I'll roll in a deep brown eyeliner or another black eyeliner after I finish this one. I really miss working on a brown eyeliner, but regardless, this category should finally be going down by 1 this year, and I'm happy with that. A lot of these came in subscription bags. There was a time when every month I was getting a new black eyeliner in a monthly subscription bag, and this category just exploded. I did not buy all of these. A lot of them also come in little gift sets. So like I wanted to buy a Smashbox Trio. I found a set that was like half off. It had a Smashbox Trio and a liquid lipstick, but it also came with a black eyeliner. And I would have never bought the black eyeliner otherwise, but because it came with it, I got it, you know? So that's how this category has gotten so out of control, but hopefully it will go down by 1 by next year. Okay, we are at the final post for part 4 of my 2021 inventory. Here are all of my mascaras. I still have way too many, but I'm happy to report that no new ones came in 2020, and I did use up my one and only mascara primer and 6 additional mascaras, some of which were sample sizes, some of which were full sizes. I am still working diligently on getting my numbers down in this category. I never put mascaras into project pans, but I'm always working on them. Yeah, currently I am working on these 2 right here. This is a deluxe sample of the Superhero from It Cosmetics, and this is a Rimmel Scandalized mascara. I'm not crazy about either of them. I think they're going to be on their way out sooner rather than later, but those are the 2 I'm currently working on. So hopefully I'll have some more mascara empties this year and this number will keep going down. I definitely received a lot of mascaras in subscription boxes as well as black eyeliners. That's why this category is so huge. I did not buy a lot of these, but they are mine, so I'm working on them. All right, guys, that is it for part 4 of my makeup inventory. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.